discipline. Survival mode I was living in, hard guarded like a veteran. But baby, we breaking that pattern again. Breathe in, let it rise. Breathe out, cut the ties. Left side tapping what hurt inside, right side speaking who I decide I am, not my history.
We are going to start in just a moment. Thank you for joining me today.
I'm stepping into clarity with it in real time. No more hiding, no more rewind. My mind, body, spirit alive. That's training for life. We're breaking soul ties, cleansing the fire inside. Grace with a little sass in a stride. That's training for life.
So I wrote this song just to encourage people. Healing is all that we have to focus on. It's everything.
But peace, baby, that's unstoppable. Shadow work getting audible. Truth so sweet, it's tropical. Forgiving what tried to break me, releasing what didn't make me. We're clearing the parts they took. Look, I'm whole,
I hope you feel like I do.
No more shrinking or disguising. Every tear reorganizing. Every scar now strategizing. Listen, trauma is not your identity, it was an event, not your essence. Your nervous system learns survival. Now we teaching it safety. Your mind learned fear. Now we training in faith.
Just a few more seconds.
Your body stored pain. Now we stretching it free. This ain't motivation. This is transformation. Left side, I used to feel unworthy. Left side, my name is strength. Left side, I carried abandonment. Left side, I am divinely sublime.
Come on.
I was stuck in the past. I am present.
You feel it building? Are you ready to train for life?
So baby, stretch it out, cry it out, pray it out, write it out. But don't you dare sit in it. We train, we align, we heal, and we shine. Training for life. Because healing is a discipline.
Did you hear that? Because healing is a discipline. Because healing is a discipline. I hope that you all hear this. I'm going to turn this down some because guess what? We are moving forward, and no matter what happens, you deserve to heal. Everything that was sent to you, everything that happened to you, it happened for a reason. There was some reason, a purpose. And guess what? If you want to sit in the pain of it, you're going to miss the reason. You're going to miss the lesson. And from the lesson is birth, the blessing. So we have to grow through it in order for us to be able to fully understand it, fully get over it. But more than that, for us to fully rebound and get everything that we're deserving of, everything that we've earned. You feel that? Okay, so we're going to move forward because I'm excited about what is happening, and I'm excited about all of those that are here and what we're about to unleash. So now, no matter what happens, you know, we always open up, taking a deep breath in our nose, holding it at the top to the count of 4, and breathing out of our mouth Are you ready to move forward? So now, today we're going to talk about building financial legacy. This is one of those topics that's near and dear to my heart because once I learned the principles, once I grasped the fullness of what it means to build legacy, if you know me and if you talked to me in the past 4 years, this is what all I've been talking about: building legacy, building legacy, building legacy. So let's stop chasing money and let's start building legacy systems. Because without a system or a structure, guess what? There is a collapse. All right. So we're going to open with just setting the atmosphere. So, Abba, we enter this space with gratitude, awareness, and intention. I want to thank you for the breath in our bodies, the vision within us, the opportunity to grow beyond where we've been. And today we align ourselves with wisdom, with discipline, and divine order. Cleanse our minds of confusion, of fear, and limitations. Release every pattern that has kept us in cycles of lack, inconsistency, and misalignment. Ground us in truth that we are not yet just earners, but we are builders. We're not just consumers, but we're stewards. We're not just surviving, but we're creating legacy. Expand our capacity to receive, to manage, and even to multiply what flows to us. Help us move with clarity, strategy, and intention. Let this moment shift how we think, right? How we move, how we build, so that in all of it, you'll be glorified. Help us to move with clarity, with strategy, and with intention. Let this moment shift how we think, how we move, and how we build. We are aligned. We are disciplined. We are ready. And so it is. Repeat after me, and so it is. So we're all in alignment, correct? All right, let's keep moving forward. So now, with this, from a clinical perspective, I can literally tell you many financial behaviors are driven by maladaptive thought patterns. I know some of you are like, what? Let me break it down to you. Let's get aligned before we get strategic. You cannot set a strategy and a foundation and structures until you have a clear path forward. That means you have to understand and recognize what's holding you back, right? You are not here to just make money. You are here to build something that outlives you. Your family deserves that. You deserve that. Your generations upon generations upon generations beyond you deserve that. But we have to first set the structure so that we can do that. Most people earn money, they spend money, they repeat cycles, right? But legacy builders, we multiply money, we protect money, we transfer wealth, we circulate it. We don't spend, we circulate. Remember, your words carry power, carries frequency, carries understanding and knowledge and understanding. So let your words speak the truth that you want to be lived out in your life. So if your money stops when you stop, you don't have financial plan, you have a paycheck. Did you catch that? How many of us have had paychecks that did not bring us joy, did not bring us peace, did not bring us happiness, excitement, passion? Right. And so with that, I want you to see the fullness of what I'm saying to you. So I always like to give you spiritual foundations in scripture to ground everything I'm going to teach you, everything I'm going to talk to you about, right? So let's say Proverbs 13, verse 22. A good man leaves an inheritance of moral stability and goodness to his children's children. That's one of my favorite scriptures. Ecclesiastes 11 and 2. I'm coming out of Amplified Classic, right? Invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land? Meaning, have you 7 streams of income and you be the 8th? What does that mean? Create systems and structures that continue to generate wealth for you, continue to generate streams of income and finances coming in repeatedly, circulating it, circulating it, circulating it. And then whatever you do, that's the 8th stream. See how that works? We were told when we were kids, don't put all your eggs in one basket. This is not putting all your eggs in one basket. This is showing you how to have multiple baskets, multiple flows, multiple streams, so that you can grow and create wealth and legacy. Luke 16:6 says this: he who is faithful in the very little things is faithful also in much. Are you that one that is faithful in the little things, that you may be faithful in the much? Right. So let's talk about why most people fail financially. The root issue is misalignment, not income. It's not. Some people say, I need more money. No, you need better financial behavior patterns. You need stronger wealth consciousness. You need structured financial systems, but you don't need more money. Because if you had more money, you'd still have the same structure and systems in place that cause it to slip through your fingers. Right? So financial cognitive distortions is what that's called. So I'll start when I have more. No, you won't. I don't understand investing. But just like you learn a foreign language, just like you learn math, just like you learned history, you can learn financial structures. You can learn financial investment. You can learn systems, right? Money always leaves me. Well, I always tell people, prophet, you'll have what you say. So speak what you desire, not what is current, because guess what? You're building to that verbiage. You're building to something. So speak towards that. Speak into that you may grow into that, right? These are internal interference patterns when you speak that way. It's an interference. Remember, we learned a few weeks ago, interference literally causes misalignment internally. It causes conflict internally. It causes a battle, a tug, a war internally. And all of that causes you to be misaligned. It causes there to be confusion inside of you. And that confusion builds daily. So here's some common financial cognitive distortions: that all or nothing thinking. We've been talking about this for a while now, all or nothing. If I can't do it big, I won't do it at all. When scripture tells us don't despise small beginnings, you have to be willing to do something, anything. And starting small is starting, right? Catastrophizing. So if I invest, I might lose everything. Then don't invest everything. Invest a portion. That portion, you put it in vehicles that are secure, especially when you're first starting out, because you don't know. Right? Learned helplessness. Nothing I do works financially. Speak that over yourself, not others, not me, right? Because you'll have what you say. You have to understand that there are systems in place. There are structures in place. And as you begin to learn them, you become more educated, you become more strategic, you become more informed, and you garner more strength and more momentum towards what you're building towards. Emotional reasoning. I feel broke, so I must be broke. No. Sometimes I'm not broke per se. I just have not acquired the assets that I desire, but I'm building towards them. See how that vernacular, the verbiage, it speaks to me. It speaks to the internal me, the inner me, that will begin to problem solve with the spirit that's in me, the spirit that is greater than everything in the world, right? That spirit in me connects with my spirit, and we begin to strategize how we can make those statements come true. So let's do a breakdown. Thoughts turn into emotions, turn into behavior, turn into your financial outcome. Did you catch that? Thoughts turn into your emotions, turn into your behaviors, which turn into your financial outcomes. So if you think, I'll never get ahead, you feel defeated, right? Inconsistent, reactive, impulsive. You produce financial instability within. Do you see how that thought produced an emotion, produced a behavior that produced a financial outcome? So how about we do something like cognitive reprogramming? Something like this: identity or identify the thought. What am I telling myself about money? What are you telling yourself about money? Is it true? Is it true for a moment, or is it true for a lifetime? Because the one consistent thing in life is change, right? So clearly it can change. Number two, challenge the distortion. Is that fact or is that conditioning? It doesn't have to be a fact. It can simply be conditioning. And guess what? We can recondition. Number three, replace it with truth and strategy. So if you're going to replace it with truth, then the truth is, I am learning financial stability. I'm learning about the vehicles to put my money in to invest. I'm learning about opportunities that will create streams of income and grow my money without me having to put my hands in it, on it, or about it. That verbiage begins to open up opportunities, begins to open up resources, open up your mindset. And then you start strategizing, right? So the old thought is, I'll never get ahead, right? But the reframe is this: wealth is built through systems, not speed. I'm learning the system. See how that resonates a little better with you? It gives you a little bit more assurance, makes you feel a little bit more grounded. That's the goal. So Romans 12:2 says, be transformed by renewing your mind. You have to renew your mind about the subject. Renew your mind so you can renew your mouth, so you can renew your situation. See how it works? Okay, so here's a stretch I like to do when I'm trying to work on learning something new and it feels like it's almost overwhelming to me. I always want to make sure I start with taking a few deep breaths. This is to break that money stress loop, right? Because cognition alone is not enough. It's not. The body holds financial trauma just like it holds physical abuse, emotional abuse. So stress when bills come, tightness when discussing money, avoidance behaviors when the bill collectors call. This is what you do. Try grounding yourself. Sit up straight with your feet flat on the floor. Inhale through your nose to the count of 4. Hold it at the top to the count of 4, and then blow it out your mouth to the count of 6. As you're doing that, next time, place your hand on your lower abdomen. Remember, that motion alone begins to tell your nervous system, your brain, your body, I'm safe, I'm stable. That action alone begins to settle you, calm you. It releases that survival mode and you step into stewardship. I'm safe to make aligned financial decisions. That's what you're telling yourself. It shifts you from the fight or flight freeze mode to the prefrontal cortex activation, right? So this regulates the nervous system so that you can make executive level financial decisions, not emotional ones. We're not called to be led by our emotions. We're not. So let's keep going. The 4 levels of financial development. I say there are 5, but we're going to go with 4, and I'll give you the 5th one as a bonus, right? High performers in wealth building follow borrowing and repetitive systems. So what do? Borrow a system if you don't have one and repeat it. Not hype, not emotions, consistency. We've been talking about that. If you follow me on social media, I have been posting about that every single day for almost 3-4 weeks now. And I want you all to understand this has become my life. I am building discipline in every area of my life where I feel that I have lacked and slacked and laid off. I'm putting structures in place to make sure that I'm moving forward. Small steps, incremental steps, but consistent steps. It builds discipline, it builds momentum, right? So, cue, routine, reward. Just so you know, over here, I have my orange slices, I have my cucumber slices, I have my apple slices, I have my carrots, and I have my banana slices. I want to pick those up. Those are a little slimy, so I don't want to get that on my hands because I need my mouse, right? Okay, so that's my reward. That's my dopamine hit for showing up for myself today, showing up for you all today. Remember, we talk about that. We celebrate the small things. Why? Because we're learning to smell the roses along the path, not just waiting till we reach our goal, right? So, example, the Q. The Q is payday, right? So, payday. The routine, allocate income immediately. So, before the night before payday, I'm going to write out where I'm sowing my 10%, giving that as stewardship, giving that as my seed, my tithe, right? I'm going to write out where I'm giving my 20%. My 20% is my savings. It's going to vehicles that are going to produce savings, that are keep my money to grow. So I'm putting some in my IUL. I'm putting some in this account. I'm putting some wherever you're putting your money in vehicles that's going to grow, and it's your savings. That's what you do, right? That's how you write down how much that's going to be. And then your reward, your financial control plus peace. So then your reward is this. I'm going to pay my bills. I know I already have some savings set aside. I already have my tithe and my seed set aside. And if you don't believe in the tithe, that's fine. But sow into something, because even Fortune 500 companies give 10% of their earnings to nonprofits. Why? The law of reciprocity works, whether you believe in the God of the law or the law itself. It still works. Plain and simple. That's why everybody does it. Everybody with wisdom does it, right? Proverbs 21:5. The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance. Are you being diligent? Can we classify your actions as diligent, right? Okay, so here's a principle I want you all to understand. You don't rise to your goals, you actually fall to your systems. So, what systems do you have in place to make sure that you don't fall below where you have planned on being? So, let's talk about these stages. Stage 1 is survival. That's living check to check, reactive spending, no protection strategy. Hosea 4:6 says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Do you understand that when you're in the survival stage, you feel like you don't have enough, it looks like you don't have enough, and everything around you reflects not enough. But when you start making declarations every single day, I'm told that I'm more than enough. My father says that I am the head and not the tail. I'm above and not beneath. I'm the lender, not the borrower. You start speaking this, right? So as you're building the stability stage, you do budgeting. You start budgeting. Yes, it sounds boring. Yes, it's like, what? Absolutely. But guess what? It will make a difference. It will pay off. Bills covered. Beginning awareness. This is where you begin to open up. This is where you begin to start saying, I might want to put some structures in place. I'm starting to see some growth. I'm starting to see some patterns here that I want to continue. But you still have no wealth structure at this point, right? The way you shift to the next stage is by having a discipline training protocol. Discipline training protocol. So how does that look? You automate your savings and investings. You can go to your HR and say, I want this amount to go into this pot. You can have it directly put into whatever ministry you attend or whatever whatever nonprofit you're going to give to, have your 10% sent straight to them. You can have from HR them put your money that you're going to put your 20% into the different vehicles that are for your savings. Do that. Pre-decide the allocation. And then remove emotional decision points. Why? Because you've taken it out of your hands. Now I don't have to worry about I just fill out my envelope on Sunday because I know how much went into the account. And I put that in the basket. Why? Because they can look at the account and see the deposit came. Right? You take it out of your hands so that your hands don't get it messy. Take it out of your mind so it's automated. And now you focus on what actually comes into your account. This is what I have. And out of that 70% that's left, you're going to pay your bills. You're going to take care of the groceries. You're going to take care of whatever else needs to be taken care of in the household. See how that works? And you have an honest view of what you're working with. Setting a structure. So now the growth looks like that, right? So the savings, it begins to become consistent. The beginning investments, you're investing now. You're in vehicles, you're putting your money in vehicles that are now going to, whether it's a IUL, whether it's a 401k, 403b, whether it's an annuity, you're using your money and putting it in vehicles that are going to benefit you, right? Understanding compound interest, understanding your money is circulating, it's going out, achieving a goal, coming back and bringing more with it. Proverbs 21:5, the thoughts of the diligent tend only to plenteousness. So you're growing, you're building, you're expanding. Let's talk about stage 4. That's that legacy stage. Legacy. That word is important because guess what? You're now thinking beyond just you. Asset producing income. Now you have assets that are producing income. Your IUL is growing. Your annuity is growing, right? The only place your money doesn't grow like that is when you put it in a savings account or a checking account. But you are now wiser. You're using vehicles, 401ks, 403bs. You're using vehicles that help your money grow. Your life insurance policy. All of these things, right? Now, also protection in place. Now you get the life insurance policy. You make sure that it has living benefits with it, meaning should you get injured or an illness, you have coverage and your life insurance policy will begin to send you some money while you're healing, while you're recovering, while you're in rehab. Living benefits, asset protection, right? Wealth transfer strategies. Should something happen to me, I have a will set up, living will. I have, in case something happens to me where I am incapacitated, I have a will telling people what I want to happen to me and who I want to make those decisions. You better have that in place. Because some people are walking out their house to go check the mail and don't come back. This is getting real, people, right? Tax advantage positioning. Do you realize that when you put your money in those savings vehicles coming from your employer, you don't have to pay taxes on a lot of it? Some of them, you only pay taxes once you pull the money out of those vehicles. Others, you don't pay taxes on them at all. As long as you don't take the money out before a certain age or time period. But others, it's yours. So now this is where money works harder than you do. Who wants your money to work harder than you? Can I get some of that, please? Yes, absolutely. So let's talk about building consistency in the body. Consistency is not just mental, it's neurological. So the way we do that, we're doing some anchoring discipline, right? So we're going to sit up right. We're going to press our feet firmly into the ground. We're going to engage our core, meaning suck it in, pulling it back towards your spine. You're going to take a deep breath in your nose. And as we get ready to breathe out, we're going to say, I follow through even when I don't feel like it. I follow through even when I don't feel like it. This builds neural pathways of completion, not avoidance. You know, when a debt collector calls you, there's a script that you can say. I want to say it to you so you can hear it. And you can always go to my YouTube channel, slow it down so you can get it or whatever. But you can say, when you answer the phone and they're telling you this is to collect the debt, you can say, before we go any further, I am requesting written validation of this debt. Please send me the original creditor, the amount owed, and proof that you have the legal right to collect. Also, moving forward, I prefer all communications in writing because I don't do pressure calls. I do paperwork. Do you realize when you say that to some creditors, they realize that they don't have the legal right to collect the debt from you because they illegally purchased it from whoever originally had the debt. Learn that you have some tools to fight with. And all of that comes with wisdom. So now let's go a little bit deeper. Financial frameworks, like real strategies here. This is coming from my years of being in the industry, right? This is where we shift from motivation to execution. So cash flow is king. That's the foundation. Cash flow is king. If you don't control cash flow, you don't build wealth. You can't build wealth, right? Income is not wealth. Controlled cash flow is. Is your cash flow controlled? So here's allocate income intentionally. Have you made sure that you have your income going where you want it to go, the amount you want to go there, and know exactly when it's going to go? Reduce leakage. Check your subscriptions. Find out where you're subscribed, who you're paying money out to, and if you want to cancel it, cancel it. Don't do impulse spending. If you see something and you're like, oh, I would love to have that, make sure that you have a 24-hour rule in place. I have a couple of things. So I have a 24-hour rule in place. So if in 24 hours, I'm still really, 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 really wanting that, guess what I do next? I shift $5 into my savings vehicle. Why? Because shifting $5 into my savings vehicles builds the savings vehicle, but guess what it also does? It reminds me I'm building towards something. Is what I'm looking at going to help me build, or is it going to slow me down? Is it putting into the pot or taking away from the pot? Create margins. Are there times when you slip? Absolutely. For 3 days, I dreamed about this taco salad from a restaurant in town called Four Roses. I'm just saying, the taco salad, I change it, of course, because I don't have any meat in it. I have them grill the mushrooms and I have them add avocado on top and some beets. And I had my black olives in there and all my doohickeys. And then, of course, when I got it home, I added my fresh red cabbage to it that I had washed and cleaned all good. And on top of that, I went on ahead and added my craisins and my nuts to it. And guess what? That salad was everything that I had thought about and dreamed about for 3 days. Why did I wait 3 days? Because I had to first wait there 24 hours, transfer $5 the next day into my account. And I taught myself, if I'm going to spend money on food out, it has to be healthy. It has to be nutrition. It has to build nutrients in it. And I have to have made that amount or more that day that I'm going to buy it. So it cost me $10 and some change for that. I had way more than that come in that day. See how I worked that out? My flow had to pay for it, so it didn't come out of the coffers I already have. Set you some structures and systems in place so that as you're moving through your day, as you're moving through your week, as you're moving through your month and your years, you are replenishing and not depleting, circulating, not just spending, right? 2, let's talk about protection first before accumulation. You have to protect it. This is that risk management portion. You don't build on unstable ground. You cannot. Anyone who has ever tried to build something, scripture even tells us, no man goes out to build without first counting the cost. And I'm talking about every bit of the cost, the energy, the cost in mental, the cost in physical, the cost in financial, the cost on your body. What is it going to take? All of that is a cost to it, right? Before investing, you must protect. So, life insurance, income replacement plus legacy tools, income protection strategies. That's what life insurance does. Life insurance, IUL has life insurance plus the protection, plus it builds income, and your money is working harder than you. Annuities. There's so many vehicles. I don't have time to tell you about all of them because I'm trying to stay on track here. But I want you to see what I'm telling you. Research it for yourself. If you don't, you can go back on my YouTube channel and see the training that I did, because I broke it all down. Each vehicle, what's the best ages to invest in them, how much you need to put in there, how they work, what they're good for, how to use them properly so that you don't run into tax issues. All of that is important to know. Final expense planning. This is that risk mitigation, right? So you need to know that should something happen to you, that the house that you purchased, that you only pay taxes and insurance on, that it won't have to go into the courts for your children who you're trying to leave it to gain possession of it. What do you mean they go into the courts? If you don't have it written in a will, if you don't have the house and everything that you own, even your cars, in a family trust, and all the members of the trust are the members of the family, so that when someone in the family passes away, not only does the policies pay out to the trust, so the trust never depletes, but everything that's been purchased under the family trust goes right back into the trust. The house was paid for under the trust. The policies, insurance policies, paid for from the trust. The vehicles you bought were paid for from the trust. It continues to make sure that the wealth in the family generates. This is how the Rockefellers continue to keep their wealth, and this is why the Vanderbilts have legacies that have died broke. You have to understand the vehicles, but you also have to understand the protection that's needed even with the vehicles. Debt protection strategies. This is your asset shielding. This is when you have that family trust set up and you make sure that whatever you purchase it through the trust. It goes in the title of the trust. Your house is under the trust. Your cars are under the trust. So guess what? If you marry someone outside of the family, which you should, but if you marry someone outside of the family and they come in with their own assets and whatever else, guess what? You're going to be signing prenups. Why? Because you're part of the board of the trust. And guess what? You are not your own. You belong to a family that has legacy, that's building some stuff. And guess what? We're protecting what we're building for our legacy. When their children born into it, now we can talk about this person that's married into the family being added into the trust. And even then, they don't get as much as those who are born into the family, those who are blood relatives. Why? Because you're protecting the trust. Now, after some years, after some decades, after they've proven themselves, after some time, baby, now we can renegotiate. We can talk about some stuff, but you have got to be realistic about what you're doing and what you're building. And it has to be some structures and systems set in place for all of the board members, for all of the family. When the children become 18, what? They become junior trust members. Why? Because from 18 to 25, they're learning about the structures and the systems, so that when it's time for them to become full board members, they understand. We're not just passing down some money. We're passing down structure. We're passing down knowledge. We're passing down wisdom. We're passing down an inheritance. See how it works? I'm sorry, I get passionate about things I believe in. So 1 Timothy 5:8 says this: if anyone fails to provide for his own, he has denied the faith. He is less than an infidel, is what scripture says. Who in here wants to be considered an infidel? Nobody. Nobody. But how many of us know or have been that person that someone passed and we're sitting here fighting the courts for what our family member worked so hard to pay for, to take care of. Or they didn't have an insurance policy at all, and we had to come up with money to bury them. Right. Now let's talk about asset accumulation, or that wealth principle. Now we're building. Examples. So index strategies, market link growth with protection. That's that compounding vehicle, right? Those are those vehicles I've been telling you about that you need to learn about for yourself, right? Long-term accumulation vehicles, index growth strategies. This is where we start literally putting things in place that speak to what we are building. And we are teaching all of the board members, all of the family members that are part of it, what it means to invest. And everybody's investing into the trust. Everybody's putting something into the pot. Why? Because we all have to have bought in interest. We all have to have an interest in it being successful because we're all going to benefit from it. Compounding structures, that's that long-term positioning. Again, you're not going to want to have set up all of this, have taught the board members the structure, the systems, the understanding, the lineage, the legacy, the inheritance, and everything, teaching them how to do it properly, legally, and making sure everything is covered and everyone is covered in order for you to have some grandchildren, great grands that turn 18 and they have no knowledge of any of this stuff, and you're going to give them these nice fancy cars, you're going to get them this college education that's paid for. You make them junior board members and you start requiring that they learn. So Ecclesiastes 11:2 says, this is that diversification principle, right? Invest in 7 ventures. You do not know what risk may come. You have to make sure that you diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Yes, you have a trust. I have a trust with your family, but then you have a trust with your immediate family. Does that mean you got to have some good lawyers to make sure everything is legit, everything is above board, and everything is moving and flowing? Absolutely. But guess what? It's so worth it to know that you're leaving an inheritance for your children's children's children. Right. My prayer is that I leave an inheritance, not just for my children's children, 2, 3 generations. I'm talking about I want 12, 16 generations deep to understand the structures, the systems, the principles, the practices, then and inherit from all of it, right? So now let's talk about wealth preservation. This is that tax efficiency. So you don't just grow money, you keep it. This is that tax efficiency, structured distributions. When a senior member of the board gets to a certain age and they're ready to retire, guess what? We have some funds already set up. We have assets and vehicles already set up so that, guess what? They're getting, on top of Social Security, they're getting something else. They have an annuity that's paying them monthly. Why? To make sure that they are not part of that group that's eating out of trash cans, part of that group that's trying to decide whether or not to go stand in a Walmart and greet people because they didn't have the right vehicles and investments. They're not a part of that group that's barely making it and in the store buying food that's not healthy because they can't afford to buy anything that is healthy. You understand where I'm going with this? Okay. Estate planning. This is that generational planning. Now we're talking about putting our properties, our vehicles, everything that we purchase, our businesses in a trust. So it doesn't have to go into the courts and our family can easily get our assets, get hold of it, get payouts. It replenishes the trust, right? Beneficiary structuring. This is that intentional inheritance. Are you designating who you want to inherit and get access to the things that you've been building all these years, the things that you've been paying into, the things that you've worked hard to build and set up for the ones that you love? This is those structures, and this is how you do it, right? So Proverbs 13:22, a good person leaves an inheritance. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. That's scripture. So let's talk about the wealth transfer. Legacy is intentional. This is that bonus one I'm talking about, number 5. Legacy is intentional, right? Trust structures. Again, having those trusts is everything because it's going to leave the structure and the foundation that you've already set and established. And all they have to do is learn it, apply it, and grow in it. So, legacy is intentional. That's that trust structure, generational planning, as well as passing assets, not liabilities. Most people don't even know what true assets are. People honestly think that, oh, I just bought a house. Well, until you start building equity in the house, it can fall a couple of different ways. But if you have the right systems and structures, you purchase it under the trust will go ahead and pay for it outright, and you pay the money back to the trust. Yes, you're still going to pay a mortgage note. Yes, you're still going to pay for the house out of your own pocket. Why? Because you're putting that money back into the trust to replenish the coffers. Trust buys a car for you because your car died. Guess what? Every month I'm paying a car note to the trust. See how that works? It's not free money. You're paying it back into the trust so that the trust is never depleted and it's consistently being replenished. See how that works? So now let's talk about a somatic stretch to talk about expansion work, right? That's those chest opening exercises plus breathing. So I want you to stand or sit tall, open your arms wide, right? Inhale deep, holding it at the top, breathing out your mouth, and say, I am safe to receive, to grow, and to multiply wealth. I am safe to receive, to grow, and to multiply wealth. This removes that scarcity stored in your body. Do you feel that? Let's keep moving because time's going and we don't want to be late, right? So the wealth mindset shift, this is that deep work, right? I always talk about that inner work. So you don't build wealth with information alone. You don't. Information is great, but you got to apply it. Practical application, right? You build it with identity alignment. You have to identify with it. You have to begin to establish yourself in the knowledge, walking it out. Most people fail here. They do because they try to act wealthy without becoming disciplined. Consumers into investors. We're turning employee mindset into ownership mindset, fear into strategy. So let's read that backwards. If you are an investor, you no longer act like a consumer. When you have ownership as your mindset and your practices, guess what? You no longer have an employee mindset. When you have strategies and structures in place, you no longer have a reason to fear. See how they cancel each other out? Behavior change without identity change creates a relapse, a setback. That's not our goal. Our goal is to continue to move forward, whether it's by millimeters, by centimeters, by inches, or miles, to continue to move forward. So Proverbs 23:7 says, as a person thinks in his heart, so is he. So are they. How are you thinking in your heart about it? Money responds to structure, not emotion. Money is a frequency and it responds to structure. It's a female. Most people say it's a female because money is very fickle. When you talk bad about money, guess what? She won't come to you. Insult money, guess what? She will avoid you like the plague. When you get your hands on her, what's she gonna do? She gonna burn a hole in your pockets and run straight out. Romans 12:2. This is where we begin to transform our minds, right? So a somatic stretch for this would be that expansion. Remember that chest opening. We're going to keep breathing deep. You can say, I expand beyond limitation. I am capable of managing overflow. It removes that subconscious resistance to wealth. I expand beyond limitations. I am capable of managing overflow. Anything you put behind I am is a promise, it's a declaration. It can be your truth, right? So let's talk about this. This is the last section, and then we're going to close out. I told you I try to get it you in and get you out, right? This is that strategic implementation I was talking about, forward momentum systems, right? No more stopping and starting and stopping and starting. So this is why people stop. They feel overwhelmed. They feel emotional fatigue because, oh, it seems so hard to budget and to stay on it. Oh, it seems so hard. No, what's harder is not having a savings, not having a backup plan, not having some coffers and other streams of income to come in to relieve some of the stress and pressures of the world. That's hard. A lack of structure, right? So, forward momentum framework looks like this: micro commitments, small wins daily. I told you it's the small things. Are you stopping to smell the roses as you're going along, or are you trying to wait till you reach the summit? Who says there's roses or flowers growing at the summit? So smell the roses along the path so that when you get to the summit, it can just be a beautiful, breathtaking view and you've enjoyed the path to the view. Number 2, pre-commitment. Decide before emotions show up. Already have it written down what you're going to do. Have systems in place to make sure that it's going to happen regardless to whether you want it to or not. Environmental designs, number 3. So remove all distractions. How do I remove distractions? Guess what? I don't just surf on the web anymore. I have a set time where I'm going to look at certain things. When I post, I give myself about 2 to 5 minutes to like a few other posts or whatever. I follow the little diagram or framework that they set for it. I like a few posts, I make a comment or two, and I keep it moving. I'm done. I'm done. Why? Because I don't have time. Why don't I have time? Because I'm building some structure and I'm building some things. And while I'm building, guess what? I have to stay focused on what I'm building. Number 4, here's the thing: accountability systems. Who's your accountability partner? What accountability systems have you set in place? What structures and guardrails and guidelines have you put in place to make sure that you abide by what you said you want it to be your goal? Give me 1 second. Let me take a sip. I had some wonderful watermelon. So guess what? The watermelon juice went into my water. Hey, we're making sure we're hydrated, right? Yes. So now let's talk about it. Here are some steps. Financial awareness. Know your numbers. You have to know the information. That means you have to have a budget and you have to have some things set up. You have to track it, track spending, track what's coming in, track what's going out, and see what's going. Identify any and every leak and plug it. What difference does it make if I identify that I have 5 subscriptions that I have not even used? I'm sowing a seed or whatever to Planet Fitness and I haven't been to the gym in 6 months. You're sowing a seed there. That's a leak. Plug it. I'm not going to get a subscription to a gym until I have consistently worked out at least 3 to 4 days every single week for a whole year at my own house or in my own neighborhood, walking and so on and so forth. If I'm not consistent at my place, why would I be consistent driving to another place? Set some systems in place and in motion, right? Okay. Number 2, eliminate financial interference. Debt patterns, recognize them. Emotional spending, recognize it and put some systems in place to stop it. Lack of discipline. We are building discipline every single day. So if that means you have to have an accountability partner that's a little bit more crash or rash than what you're used to, do that. Quit leaving your emotions on your sleeves. Put them in your back pocket and have several seats on them. Because guess what? We're in a situation and a time in life and in the world where money is about to be tampered with majorly, and you need to have it in some vehicles that are going to make it tamper proof. You better have some stuff set aside. Number 3, let's talk about building financial systems, protection plans, growth strategies, and legacy structures. I've already told you what those are. Know it. Find which one works for you. Invest in it, put your money there, and doggone it, let it stay there and grow. Don't keep checking it every other day, talking about, oh, it grew $5. Let me see how much I can spend. No, let it grow. Don't touch it. And number 4, execute consistently. Wealth is built through repetition, through discipline, and time in the market. Repetition, discipline, and time in the market. That's self-explanatory. I'm not even going to go there. So Galatians 6:9 says, do not grow weary in well-doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. Let us not lose heart, for in due time we shall reap, right? It's going to come to you. You're going to be able to enjoy the benefits of it. But while you're building it, let it build, let it grow, give it some time. So a somatic stretch, I always tell people, that embodies discipline, momentum activation. So if you stand up straight, I'm not going to stand because I'm on a video and it's angled at me sitting. So stand up straight. You're going to lean forward just a little bit. You're going to take a deep breath in your nose. Hold it at the top. And as you get ready to breathe out, you're going to take one large step, intentional step forward. And say, I move forward with clarity, discipline, and execution. I release inconsistency. I commit to disciplined execution. See how that works? Isn't that beautiful? So now what I'm going to do is I have several affirmations here. I'm going to read a few of them. I want you to repeat after me. And if you like, you can DM me and I will send you these affirmations so that you can have them for later. Okay? So I want you to speak these out with me with authority. I am a wise steward over every dollar assigned to me. My money multiplies because I move with intention. I build systems that create wealth beyond my lifetime. I break systems of lack and establish legacy. I am disciplined, consistent, and aligned. My financial decisions are strategic, not emotional. Wealth flows to me because I am prepared to manage it. I am disciplined in my financial decisions. I'm going to stop there, but I want you to continue going. I finish what I start. You can create however you want. I create systems that produce legacy. Whatever you want to say that builds you up. And as we're closing out, I want you to understand the psychology, the strategy, the discipline, and the embodiment of this whole thing. Because you don't need more time, more motivation, or more excuses. What you need is alignment, structure, and execution. That's what's important right now. Wealth is not built in bursts. It is built in behavioral patterns repeated over time. Do you have those set in place? Do you have that structure established? This is not your moment to decide right now. It's not. Will you keep managing your money on a consistent and daily basis? Or will you start building legacy? There's a difference. To manage something means just that I'm just managing. I'm barely holding on to it. But when I'm building legacy, I put some structures and systems in place. Joshua 1:8 says, you shall make your way prosperous, and then you shall deal wisely and have good success. Do you want that to be your story? So this is your call to action as I close out. No more starting and stopping. No more emotional spending. No more avoiding structure, right? This is your shift. From intention, we're going to shift to embodiment. From knowledge, we're going to shift to execution. And from income, we're going to shift to legacy. If you're ready, get your financial house in order. Build your wealth strategies. Create legacy for you and your family. This isn't time to move, right? This is time to establish. No more delays, no more confusion, no more cycles. You have to put the systems in place. You have to get ready and prepared. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to end the recording. I thank you all for joining me. I hope this helps some of you. I hope this encouraged you. I hope this gives you some systems and some things to look forward to plan towards, and even to contact me if you have questions or need help with any of it. But just know there is help out there. And you can have the future that you're desiring and seeing and envisioning in your mind. You just have to understand so that you can understand, so that you can put the things in place. I love you all to life.